reading that thing. So
hey y'all, it is your favorite nerdy girl here, Nerdy Girl Reviews, and we are back with another recap and spectacular. Yes, y'all, we are back with the spectacular for The Watcher, currently streaming on Netflix. If you like to see and hear the full commentary, keep me locked here on YouTube. If you're watching this on Instagram, click the link in bio. If you're watching this on IG Stories, click on the link. It'll link you back to my YouTube channel. I'm also available on TikTok under Nerdygirlreviews. And if you'd like to catch more of my recaps and spookiness, you can find me on SofritoForYoursOld.com. Let's play this out, y'all. I'm doing my best vampire. Vampira. Vampira if you're nasty. Alright, y'all, let's get into this. Be right back. XOXO Nerdy Girl. Alright, y'all, we are back. Before we get into this review, you know that I gotta go through the aesthetics. And we are doing our best vampire, vampira, which I'm digging. I'm digging saying, but yes, she was our spectacular hostess with the mostest, I think from the 40s, 50s. It was definitely black and white era. Kind of doing something with the face. I might transition this into a black and white look, so stay tuned for that. And yes, even the nails. Now I added these little details, not for any particular reason, just because I just wanted to add. And forgive me the little smudge there. That smudge is not intentional. That was accidental. Nonetheless, my props though, from the Dollar Tree, and the tool is from a fabric store, $1. And I love these black roses because they're just so darling and glittery. I'm also wearing a black veil with spider webs and spiders on them. Also available, you know how I love to show my props and where I get them, from the Dollar Tree. You do not have to break the bank. These nails too are from the Dollar Tree. Okay? These nails. I thought when I saw them in the summer, and if you follow me, you know when I got them. And I said this is going to be perfect for a nice vampire look. You already know. Everything in the background as well, as you can see, of course, my tagline, Nerdy Girl Reviews, and all the props from Dollar Tree and Target Bullseye. I was able to do, and I'll link the video down below, but Bargain Bethany last year's Halloween DIYs mentions using typical dollhouses from the toy section and how they can look really creepy. And if you notice, I have some flickering light. I hope you can see from this distance, flickering light. So when you turn off the lights, they look really spooky. My tree from Target Bullseye, and I just added some lights from the Dollar Tree. My cauldron looks like bubbling brew. And of course, and I'll turn this off as I know it could be a little, I know the lights, but I just thought since we are doing the Watcher and it's very spooky, ghost-like, I thought, and he's from last year. They haven't brought him back this year at my branch. And of course, my skeleton, creepy, skeleton stand, and that's also Bargain Bethany's, and I will link the video down below. And the makeup by moi, and the costume and whatnot, and just tells you guys you don't have to break the bank, and you can still look really fashionable for this Halloween season. So let's get into now the real review, and let me get some libations to go with the look. Be right back. Wah! And we're back. Yes, we're gonna have a little bit of vampire blood, and yes, this little IV bag, blood bag, It's also from the Dollar Tree. My local branch, all these things are kind of actually not available anymore because if you didn't get them in the summertime. And again, don't be discouraged. I had to take off too just so I could work my camera. But nonetheless, this is how it looks though. And we're just going to pop this open so we can enjoy our review. Our little Dollar Tree straw because I'm not going to mess up this lipstick. Ah, vodka. That's a joke. That's a joke. If you're a big John Leguizamo fan, you already know. But let's get into all the specifics, shall we? Also, my lips are from LA Colors Auto Lip Liner Vampire Kiss. All right, now let's really get into it. So we are back with, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Netflix should just be Ryan Murphy land because everything he does really turns into gold, like TV gold. And he did that with American Horror Story, and we get that very much so with The Watcher. We had it with Dahmer, which I will link also my last review somewhere in the video or in the description box below. Which, unfortunately, yes, is based on true crime stories, but it's done so well that even though it is atrocious, it is an incredible watch. And The Watcher is just the same. It's the same exact concept. This is Ryan Murphy and I am Brennan. Love child for this spooky season. And I always forget his co-creator, so that's my culpa, my own fault, because I always think Ryan Murphy's like everything Universal. But yes, it's a mystery thriller television miniseries created by Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan for Netflix. It follows a true story of a married couple who, after moving into their dream home in Westfield, New Jersey, are harassed by letters signed by a stalker named The Watcher. It premiered on October 13th, 2022. Is based on the 2018 article for New York's The Cut by Reeves Wilderman. Now, y'all, when you get into this, and this is what I will say, and a few other reviewers have recommended the same thing, just give it a watch first and then do your research because you really want to be entertained. Now, I will say, and there's full of spoilers here, so if you haven't watched it, watch it first and then come back. And thank you for coming back to my channel as well, if I didn't mention that. But I will say, it takes a lot of creative license because the true story wasn't so menacing. But that's the great part about it. I mean, we are fans of all these like Scream, legendary films from like the 60s. Not even when Hitchcock's Psycho premiered. It's always, and this is why I'm that kind of horror film fanatic. When you don't need to see the gore. Although there's plenty of violence in this particular 7-episode series, so it's like a very small, hint of episodes, an hour piece, but it's not doused with like a lot how these slasher films nowadays are constantly bombarding you with just slashing this, slashing that. It's more subtle. And they always say, I think, especially these films were such a great hit because it scares you in a sense where everybody feels that kind of scare. It's a vulnerability of the unknown. And that's what we have with our two main characters, played brilliantly here by Naomi Watts, who plays Nora Branagh. I think, again, forgive me for the mispronunciations, and Dean Branagh, played brilliantly by Bobby Cannavale. I also just reviewed Blonde. I will also link it somewhere here or in the description box. You can hit that button and see if you want to watch Blonde. But he's brilliant. I love him no matter what role he's doing, and it's this couple, very well to do. He's, I think, works in some form of entertainment or publicity or marketing, and his wife is an artist who does these really expensive pots, and they've hit it off. We don't get too much of that, which because again, the center of the story is this mysterious house. So it's beautiful when you like approach it. So in Westfield, New Jersey, and it is like the house. It's that beautiful mansion house that like everybody kind of like, that's when you think of the American dream, that's what you think of. That beautiful house. It nearly looks like a castle. It has like this incredible long driveway, hilly, beautiful grass. But then there's a issue here. Because once you move into that neighborhood, you think, oh, well, I made it. I've moved out of the city where it's rough. And for some reason, we always want to equate violence and crime to city life. But in the suburbs, it's supposed to be squeaky clean. And this miniseries does its job in also letting you know that it isn't so always so safe. Not like you would assume. Assume is the word. Now, we are introduced to a number of kooky characters as the neighbors. And just tells you, too. I mean, not for nothing, you start to also question the fact that it went so miserably for this couple. But what if this couple would have been a couple of color? Would have been approached the same way? I think it would have been 10 times even more scarier. So they see this beautiful home. They purchase the home. They're introduced to all these wacky characters, and leading up to the home when they're about to move in. Tell me y'all didn't get like Murder House vibes. I mean, it is very up Ryan's alley with Murder House from American Horror Stories. We get a sense of Amityville because the house, even though it's darling, at night it looks very creepy. And there's so many houses that sometimes, not for nothing, even Amityville, if you've ever done your research or seen the film, it looks like the house looks creepy. It looks like it's almost smiling. So, and then you do your research and you're like, oh. But this particular house didn't have that kind of negative connotation. So it was a win-win for this couple. And so they bring their children along, very much like Murder House. Of course, they're not going to be living there without their children. And their children are reluctant because they've made their lives in the city and their friends, but they don't want to move to the burbs, but they have to. And they adjust, sort of. But again, like I feel like the centerpiece isn't necessarily the children. It's more how the house basically kind of erupts their peace, and especially the relationship, which at the very beginning we have a very loving relationship. I mean, for heaven's sake, they're constantly touching each other and they can't keep their hands off of each other. But that soon changes. Our neighbors too, we have Pearl, brilliantly played here by Mia Farrow. And tell me you didn't get like Rosemary's Baby vibes just from her alone. Also Mo and her husband, that's the couple, which I love because they were like a retired couple, cranky old couple that are just kind of set in their ways, and they wear matching tracksuits, which I love. I thought that was really cute. And they're just obnoxious, and they've lived there for so many years, and they just are like, get off my lawn, who are you new people, don't bring in your stupid music, or whatever the case may be. Played, and most played by Margot